Hey guys, I'm out here on the beach right now. So let's see, just a couple of other things that I wanted to talk about. Thought I would just kind of talk a little bit more about finances, money, and a little bit more about my personal philosophy right now around personal finance, money. I've done some videos in the past, just scratching the surface a little bit on some of my beliefs I have about a few things currently, and I just kind of thought I would share with you guys a little bit of my take, my philosophy on a few things right now, and where I am and what I've learned through my past, through my failures, through my successes. Basically, I guess I'll just kind of start it off. There's a book that I read about 10 years ago, and I haven't quite, implemented everything, but it's called Die Broke. I forget the name of the author, but it was written in the late 90s, maybe 97, 98, and basically the philosophy that was in that book was quit today, pay cash, and don't retire. And basically what that means. Anyways, the book, I'm not an expert on finance, on this topic. It is one of my hobbies. I study it constantly, and I've been heavily studying money and finances for over 10 years, pretty heavily. So I've read a lot of things. I'm always reading books on money, finance, and better ways to do things. But I'm becoming there's a lot of bullshit out there. There's a lot of bullshit. You get misled really quick when it comes to money on many things, many different levels. So back to the book, Die Broke. The philosophy is you quit today. So what that means is you don't literally quit your day job, or you don't quit everything you're doing, but you quit mentally. That you basically says that you're going to quit this 9 to 5 paradigm eventually in the future. You're wrapping your mind around a whole different paradigm, and then that's when you start setting goals, working on other projects, paying off your debt, and so that you can get yourself out of the 9 to 5 and be doing other things that you want to do, and not having to go, not having to work because we all have to work. I mean, unless we're retired, but it's getting to that place where you work because you want to work, and you're not working because you have to work. Okay, so you have to do something, because you don't want to do it. So you quit today. You pay cash. You pay off all of your debts. You pay cash for everything from here on out, unless it's some type of real estate deal where it makes sense to leverage debt to earn a return. There's a lot of cases in real estate where borrowing money can make sense and be a winnable strategy for you. So you pay cash for everything, and you don't retire. And this is the part where I like and I find very interesting. And this is this whole thing where this is one of the traps that I think in our society right now. And I've fallen into it too. It's the whole retirement trap. It's the retirement mindset paradigm where you're living your life. You're not living your life today. You're just squirreling away until that day where you can retire. I mean, I can't tell you how many people that I meet, and it's like everything, they're not living today. They're just living for that day, some day in the distant future that doesn't even exist, And so many people do that. I've talked about that on some of my older videos. So that's one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm more focused on living for today, living in the present, and I am saving and investing for my future. But I'm not just in this paradigm where, you know, I'm gonna do all these things that I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to have the house, and I'm supposed to live in it for 30, 40 years, then sell it, then buy the $500,000 motorhome, and you know, go about my merry life. So I've kind of doing it differently. I've kind of reverse engineered it. So the don't retire part, and so that just means that you're shooting for your ideal lifestyle for yourself, and working a program more along that, and also getting yourself more in line with work that you want to be doing. I mean, I think that it's cool and fun to take a sabbatical, take sabbaticals in your life and just get away from it all for a while, and that's great. But there comes a point where you're going to be like, you know, I want to do something. Okay, I want to be productive. I want to be creative. I want to do something with myself, and you know, make something and be of value to other people. So, and that's kind of where, you know, the focus of Don't Retire is to find yourself some meaningful work that you enjoy doing and that you want to do, and getting your life set up so that you can make that work for yourself. And to me, and then that kind of slides into my next thing I want to talk about, is it's the whole income versus expenses. And I'm of the belief right now, one of the realizations I've had in my life is I've been one of those people where I've always thought that income was my problem, and I needed to make more money. That was going to solve all of my problems. That was the root cause of all my problems in my life, was income. I mean, I needed to make more money, right? And I'm not going to go out there on a limb and say that is not important. It's very important. But I've discovered that it's actually your expenses are, to me, the best place, and where you've got to get your mind wrapped around your expenses, and your expenses are actually your problem. And when I look back in my life, and comparing it to how I'm doing things now versus how I used to do them, the big change for me is expenses. It's not income. It's expenses. It's the expense column, not the income column. All right? And I don't know if that's a secret mystery or whatever, but it's been something that I've discovered, and it's opened up. It's completely changed my life. It's completely changed my life. You know, and then it goes back to the minimalism, and less stuff equals more freedom, and all that kind of stuff. Everything ties all back into those philosophies. So this whole thing on expenses, you know, people spend way too much money to live. Housing and housing is everyone's number one most highest expense, and everyone spends too much money on that. And that's one of the reasons why they can't save money, they can't get out of debt, and they can't invest for their future. So I really see that working on that expense column and being able to be in a situation where you can save up to 50% of your income, those are some good numbers that are going to put you in a strong financial position. So that's some of my thinking wrapped around that topic, and then you know, it's allowing, and then with me dropping my expenses, then that changes like my entire career perspectives and goals and objectives with my career, because now, well, I don't have to work 90 hours a week at this job I hate to make $100,000 a year to pay for, you know, pay for my lifestyle. You know, now I can work part-time work. I can work seasonal work. I don't have to. I can change the whole thing around, and then that type of jobs can free up more time for me to work on higher value projects, entrepreneurial projects that are going to yield, in my opinion, over the long term, a lot higher yields than you know, slaving away for 80, 90 hours a week at a job that, you know, you hate doing that you really don't have any security in anyways. They can pull the rug out from you anytime that they want. You know, it's a false sense of security. So that's kind of some of my philosophies. I guess I could kind of talk a little bit more about, you know, some investing. I'm not an expert at all on investing. I do have some mutual, you know, I've got a lot of mutual funds, index funds that I buy. I mean, I kind of stick to the real conservative stuff. I'm going for long-term growth with my portfolio. I'm not trying to you know, be the jackrabbit and you know, get to the front or whatever the fastest. You know, the what's the saying? Slow and steady wins the race, and that's I agree that it's all about slow and steady. And then when you also implement some of these other things I'm talking about, focusing on your expenses, dropping your expenses, getting yourself into an RV, tiny home, some type of living situation where you can cut your expenses dramatically. And or maybe it's, you know, picking up and moving to a more affordable area in the country where you can cut your housing costs down dramatically. So you know, that's what I've done. I've moved out of a high expensive area. You know, when I'm living at the beach and I'm able to make a good living and still save money at the same time. So yeah, it's investing. So yeah, slow and steady wins the race. You know, I started many years ago first listening to Dave Ramsey talking about getting out of debt, and I used to always go on to that other website called Get Rich Slowly, JD Roth, and I spent a lot of time on there. That's where I started. But yeah, Dave Ramsey, you know, get out of debt, get out of the credit cards and all this kind of stuff, and you know, just, you know, it entirely changes your mindset. I mean, most Americans, most of us, we're so screwed up to begin with that there's so much that we have to change about our mindset about money. And you know, we think that money is this thing that, you know, it's only to be used to consume for things and spend and spend and spend and spend and spend. That's what we're all conditioned to at a young age, is just to spend money. Well, you know, wealthy people don't do that. Wealthy people look at money as a tool, and it's a way to you know, to invest money in capital and put it to work. And you know, they're not concerned with status, and they're not concerned with all these other things. I mean, there's no reason, there's no mystery, cause and effect of why these people become wealthy. You know, why they have something is because, you know, it's their habits, it's their paradigm around money. They don't look at it as something to be consumed with. And you know, there's people from all sides of the spectrum. You've got the billionaires, and you've got people that make very modest incomes, you know, $20,000 a year, and a lot of those people are very wealthy. You know, they don't have debt. They own everything they have. They own, and you know, they just have the simple things that they need. But they don't piss their money away. They save it, they invest it, and they're prudent with their you know, with their financial decisions. So I've been talking about this one for a long time. I certainly haven't this is not hasn't been the perfect talk on everything. I've skipped around a little bit. I thought I wanted to hit on some of these points, and I hope that I've done a good job of getting them across. This is my paradigm of where I'm at with personal finances, and I'll just say too that, you know, I've had, you know, in all these things that I'm talking about right now, you know, I've lost a lot of money, guys, in my life. I've been misled many times on money and finance, and the things that I'm telling you here today, I just didn't read about yesterday. You know, these are some of the conclusions that I've come to in my life right now. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope that you've been able to get some kind of value out of this conversation here. And if you have some comments, if you'd like to share some of your opinions and about this topic, please comment below and let us all know. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later, and thank you for watching.